There was a lot I agree with and a lot I didn't, and some that actually really made me laugh. Welcome to another episode of Tay and J's Horror Slays, where we'll be diving into the depths of horror films by giving our honest opinions. Get your popcorn ready. Please do not hide in the closet. And let's go.
Let's go. This week's episode is for a movie that was released today, October 6, 2022. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, directed by Damien Leone, starring David Howard Thornton, Samantha Scafidi, Lauren Lavera, Elliot Fulham, and his part was unimportant, but Chris Jericho.
First of all, 100% miss me with that. We can start there. We're going to start right there.
Hey, man, he's Jericho, so I was excited to see him.
I mean, yeah, but not enough to get 100% of Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, you wanted to talk about that. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, man, people liked it. What can I say? People liked it. What? I mean, that's what Rotten Tomatoes is. It's pretty much the opinions of the masses of
That's
who
a
watch
very
it.
strong opinion.
Hey, man.
Okay, let's just really get what this movie pissed me off with out the way. Character developments, people just seem to like. It was almost like they were going to be great, and then they were like, "Oh, never mind." And they're like, "What's wrong?" After they start slightly divulging information, it was like, "Never mind." And I'm like, "No, say what you saw." Half these people could have been saved if people would have just been honest.
And or like me personally, I don't understand the thought process of you see somebody being mutilated and your first thought process is I'm going to stand there in the doorway while that person is still being mutilated by this other person and just scream. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to try to call for help. I'm not going to look for a weapon. I'm just going to stand there. Yeah. A lot of people could have survived just by not doing that.
That part, I think they pushed it in the eyes of back in the day horror and left it there. But then all that, first of all, let's talk about the real issue that I had even in the theater. I'm like, why is it looking 1970s, but we got 2022 electronics?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they were trying to give a certain ambiance to the movie.
That's fine, but don't make it where it's confusing. That's what it was for me. It was hella confusing.
I mean, I don't think I thought about that aspect that hard. I mean, when you said it, I was like, oh, I mean, I guess I see that. I see what you talk about. But it didn't really affect my watching to where it was like, is it?
Well,
Or is it
for
in the
me, and
past?
even in our podcast, we talk about the ambiance and things that put you in a situation. I need you to guide me into the storyline. I was confused because of that. Everything else is kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
but I mean, realistically, just like what you said, the standing and staring and going, oh, oh God, move, run. And it seemed like it wasn't just us. Everybody in the theater, and that theater was packed tonight. Everybody in the theater was like, get the fuck out of there.
Literally.
Oh my gosh, the commentary in the theater was great.
I'm telling you, there were just too many aspects where it just there wasn't enough intelligence, I should say.
Oh, nowhere near enough
People
of that.
people weren't using their common sense whatsoever. I could go down the long list of each character who just can literally every single character at one time. Like, I don't think I felt like this before sentence except for I can't even think of what it is right now, but at one point I wanted every single character to die at one point
Right.
or another. I was just like, they just need to die and like get off my screen
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it to no spoiler alerts because the movie
because
did
it's
just come out.
so new. Yeah,
But I definitely had a moment where I like leaned over and was just like, I can give a shit if they all die. Like it got so annoying after a while. I'm like, God, stop it.
yeah, for sure. But I can say, maybe not 100%, but I can say I do understand why it's so high. And the reason I say that is because in a genre where it's hard to find um originality, this is a really original concept with
Mm,
Art the Clown, the goriness of it. Um he doesn't talk or speak. I mean, there are characters that don't talk or speak, but they're usually like extra huge characters like Jason, who is like towering over most human beings. Same thing
mm-hmm.
with Michael Myers. He's usually towering over other people. Um I can't think of no other character. I mean, I guess you might put Samara in that category of the not
No,
speaking, but she's different. She's like a
no, she spoke.
ghost.
She did speak.
Oh, I
Like
can't
in the
remember.
ring too. I mean, it was a shitty remake, but she did speak. But I don't even want to put that even in here. And I'm saying that because we talked enough about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I as far as going back to the original slasher films for sure. And I'm always gonna have my quote. I feel like Eli Roth was on set for this because it was hella gory.
Gory as heck.
But it just I don't know. It didn't like some of the storyline and some of the things, like the objects and the key points. It just didn't register for me.
Hey, I mean, I get that. I mean, like I said, I more so like it for what I feel is the originality of it. I mean, there was some parts where it missed for me, like uh somebody that we follow on Twitter posted something, and they gave a list of, if you're writing a horror movie, different rules that you need to follow.
Yeah.
And one of those rules says, think of all the possible smart ways to get out of it and make those irrelevant. This movie didn't do that. They didn't give smart things. People were just being stupid the entire movie. Just
Yeah.
dumb.
And honestly, and I want to get this out before I forget. The very end, like after the credits, was very Bride of Chucky to me.
Yeah.
And I about what kind of turned it on this ugly head. And I was like, all right. Like it just I don't know. Because they sat on it for so long and we talked about this before, we expected it to be better than what it was. It almost felt like it was going in too many different directions. Like it was like it's horror, but it's supernatural, which we already thought because of the first one.
Shoot, there was a point in time that I thought I was watching a superhero movie, but I digress. When you
Facts.
watch it, you'll understand what I mean. But yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been better. The first one, I felt like, and maybe it was that way because it was so new. Um, it felt like the storyline fit the gore.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it felt like they used gore to counterbalance not so great script.
You know what? I agree with you on that because I feel like for what it was going for, what Terrifier was, it did not fit into that narrative.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what I felt about the last one is what I feel about this one in the way of Art the Clown definitely carried that movie on his entire back
He did.
and
Why?
span because the entire movie, like, you could care less about anybody else until he came on the screen. You're like,
Yeah.
and when he wasn't on the
Well,
screen, you're like, when is he coming back?
sort of, and I say sort of because they were trying to engage you into another storyline, but that storyline didn't even play the way it was supposed to.
But that's what I
Or
mean. That's what I'm saying though. Like, because it was not as well written, it was like when you're trying to get us engaged with these characters, you're trying to get us to care about these characters, but I could care less. You
there was a
know,
couple of cheesy lines, cheesy like 80s. And I'm just like it was to the point. It's bad when the entire theater laughs.
fact. I mean, okay, I know we said I know we said no spoilers, but I gotta do one because this was the funniest for me. It was the funniest part of the entire movie. Like, they were getting their asses whooped by Art the Clown, and they're trying to leave. They're trying to leave, and his sister falls, and he was like, "Are you really hurt?" Like, what? No, I'm hurt for play. Like, what you mean? Am I really hurt? I was just when he said that, like you said, it was one of those old maybe 70s or 80s lines where it's just like, oh man, you're asking stupid questions.
Oh, for sure. And then there was something you said with the black van where it was kind of giving ripoff of the black phone vibes. And I'm like, there's so much going on. I'm trying to keep up with every little aspect of this movie at this point. I'm just like, okay, do we have a storyline? Do we have a protagonist? Do we have an antagonist? Do we have there was so much going on. Oh my goodness. It was just, and I think that one scene, and I don't want to talk about it, but I will say with the banjo, I kind of want to know if there's like a backstory and a reason behind this because it didn't give me everything I needed to know. And like there was I mean one thing I can say about the movie that they really did good for sure. They did tie the first and the last one together.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I can definitely go ahead and say that because I was actually wondering how they were going to do that because even with how it ended slightly was confusing because the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie kind of collided to where you're like, was the beginning of the movie the end and then they just rewind it, like it was a little bit confusing, but they kind of put them together
Well, I
well.
wasn't confused at all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kept up with that story.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the beginning of the first movie, when he's watching the film, I mean, he's watching
Yeah.
the chick talking on the thing. He breaks the TV. Then he grabs his stuff and he leaves. And then the movie officially starts. But then at the end, at the very, very end, he's back there again watching the same TV and he break like
I don't
it's
think
the
it.
same, it's damn near the same scene from the beginning and the end, but
I,
it's
I don't think they were doing it like that on purpose. I think they were just kind of like showing us that and then showing us all the way back to the beginning. And that him leaving, I think that they were trying to show us like, that, but then also like rewind the clock a little bit. So that's why I say it didn't confuse me.
okay. I mean,
You know my favorite
It is
movie,
what it
Deja
is.
Vu.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I just feel like I said, I mean, there for a while it seemed like a very good premise, and they seemed like almost like somebody like cheesy came in and was like, okay, do this, and the characters did that, and then this is gonna sort of kind of make sense, but it sort of kind of doesn't. And then I have to say this for one of my final notes as far as movies are concerned. Can't even get it out right. Please stop making psychiatric hospitals with two clients. I mean, I'm sorry, with two workers in there. That's not how that works. Okay, you have multiple staff members in a psychiatric hospital.
Right. And that does it, and that goes for morning shift, late shift, overnight shift.
Hello. Stop doing that. It's not realistic. Like you said, I want things to be realistic. That's to me one of the best horror movies ever. Is the ones that are realistic. Like, okay, I would burn that house down. I would totally burn that book. I would totally move. I would totally scream. I would definitely tell people what's going on with me. That is what I like to see when I watch horror movies. Not, oh my gosh, what happened after she just saw some scary shit? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? Like, what the like, or like, I guess it's sort of kind of, it's not really a spoiler alert, but people getting stabbed or getting like a little cut on their leg and falling and crawling. It's like you have a certain thing called adrenaline that kicks in. So why are you acting so weak?
That, and this is also the thing that makes me laugh, because they'll do that, right? They'll have a little cut on their leg or whatever and be falling and be in extra pain. But when he freaking smashes their face in and digs into their flesh, grabbing their heart out, they're still talking to people like,
You're like,
what?
please, help me. Or I'm like the one girl when she was getting mutilated. I'm like, bro, she's definitely dead.
Like, yeah, everyone was saying that in the theater. Like, there's no way. They were like, there's no way.
Yeah,
Like,
no way. Man, no way, no way. No, that too, but also like when said person, I'm not even gonna say what gender it is, but said person was getting fucking thrashed. That was the only person that I felt like, yeah, you got a right to be crawling on the ground going, he was whooping your ass.
mm-hmm.
Like, so I get it, but everybody else was just like, okay, dramatic. All right. Like it just felt over the top for me. And that's just my thoughts. It just felt over the top. Now, is it a little entertaining? Yeah. Should I we had to watch it on DVD? Definitely. Would I buy it on DVD? No. Um would I watch it spray painted with a spray painted pentagram on the wall in dark? No. But I would definitely rate it like a 7, maybe even an 8. And the reason why I'm saying this on a 1 to 10 scale because he himself is just creepy as hell. And then there was an extra creepiness that I can't mention in this one.
Yeah.
So I get that. You know what I'm saying? So he is just creepy as hell. But for me, like I said, I probably won't watch it again. And that's just me. And let me just rephrase that. If I do watch it, it's because you bought it, and then I was just on some, okay, let's just watch it. Let's pop it in real quick. I honestly prefer to watch Terrifier, the first one, than Terrifier 2. And that's just me.
No, I feel it. But you know me, if I get Terrifier, the first one, I gotta finish the collection. So I would definitely have Terrifier too.
Hmm.
And I honestly, I probably would watch it again, just because I usually like, even the bad ones. I usually like to give it a second go around because, for example, Oculus. I thought that movie was completely trash. I thought it
Hmm.
was trash butter. I didn't think there was no redeeming qualities of that freaking movie. We watched it a second time, and I was like, okay, it's not that bad actually.
Oh yeah, but see, I had better thoughts than you did. Like
Oh yeah, I
I
freaking
I was
hated that movie.
definitely still watch it again. You were like, ah, okay,
It was to the point where I didn't even want to do it for the podcast. I didn't. I was so mad that we was about to watch it again. I'm like, man, I gotta sit through this whole freaking movie again. But again, I gave it a chance, and those are reasons why I usually like even the movies that I feel suck. I like to watch again to see if I feel differently or if I see something that's like, oh, I didn't catch that in the last one. Okay, that makes it not as bad.
okay.
Um,
I'm not mad at that.
I've done that with I've done that with a lot of movies. Like for example, there's a movie that I actually have on DVD. It's called Smiley. Um, I thought that movie was okay.
I only watched that once with you. I
Yeah,
didn't watch it again.
I thought it was okay. The next time I watched it, I thought it was better, and I think the reason why I thought it was better was because it kind of reminded me of another movie I had seen. So it kind of made it better. So when I think of different movies, especially ones that are considered to be bad, I always try to find the quality, like different qualities that I could be like, okay, that makes it not that bad.
Okay.
Um, oh, and by the way, because I didn't give him my ranking on it, I would also give it a 7. Um, you said maybe an 8, but I would give it a solid 7. It was good. I mean, it was entertaining. I would watch it again. There was just certain parts that weren't good. Like, and it comes across as just lazy writing,
Yeah.
which I don't want to. I don't want to say it because he had time. It's not like he rushed this one. You know, he had time to make this good, but it just felt lazy in
Oh,
certain
it
parts.
was though. Like there was, and I want you to finish this, but I'm gonna say this to get it off my chest. The some of the writing he did in the first one was way better than the second one. The second one felt like it was the first one from back in the day where stuff was just really stupid.
Hmm.
This one felt like, I'm sorry, the first one felt like something that would be more written for today.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the last one felt like, this one felt like, that probably would have been back in the day where people were that stupid.
Right. And I can say also, I like the fact that some of the questions that I had in or we had the podcast episode for the first Terrifier. Some of the questions I had in the first Terrifier were answered in the second one. It wasn't answered up to par where I felt like it could have been, but it did answer my question.
Right.
I don't want to exactly say what that question was because I feel like it will kind of, I don't want to say it'll ruin it because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who already think this, but they confirm it in this movie.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would say watch it. I would say go watch it. Maybe not in the theater. Uh I probably wouldn't say pay for it. If you could find it maybe on the Fire Stick for free or whatever the case.
We paid for it, so y'all didn't have to.
Right, exactly. That's what we're here for. We're here to make y'all lives easier. but but I do feel like it is something to watch. Like I said, it's entertaining. If you don't have something to watch, I would definitely turn it on for something to watch for the night. But there are 1,001 other movies that are way more entertaining than this.
That's true. Well, we're gonna get off here. Keep a lookout for Fear Street because we have to finish that, and we're gonna post it for you guys. Also, make sure you guys stay creepy. Okay, what's up with y'all? It's horror movie season, which is usually all year round. But I'm just saying, right now it's spooky season. Be horror, be creepy, pop out of closets. Don't use Ouija boards. Don't do that. And we love y'all. Horror fans unite!
2 fingers.